Welcome back, video creeps. Been a little bit since we've done a video talking about some of the legal issues that some of our favorite horror movies go through. So I got a juicy one for you, all about Cabin in the Woods. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about how I will be going live on Twitch 2 times a week, every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 o'clock Pacific time, where I'm just going to get nice and silly, play some video games and chat with you just like how we do every Saturday, except now Tuesday and Thursday. So three lives. So make sure you head over there so that way we can hang out. Don't forget to like this video and then also leave me a little comment. Just say like hello or something cool. And if you're new here, hi, subscribe, please. I would appreciate it. All right, let's do this thing. So this whole thing started with a struggling author by the name of Peter Joseph Gallagher. From everything that we know about Peter, he was an extremely creative and ambitious dude, going as far as to even self-publish his own book. A little something he put out in 2007 called The Little White Trip, A Night in the Pines. It's not a short title. Now, the book in no way made headlines or like anybody got in a big rush. It's no household name. Peter really was your average struggling artist. In fact, he was having such a rough go of it that he actually would go to Venice Beach, which, fun fact, I used to work there. I sold beef jerky there. Up and down the border, just trying to find people who were reading a book, and he would just give them a copy of The White Trip. Say what you will about his methods, but that's the dedication of a man who's working towards his goals. Which is why it's especially weird that this guy has almost completely disappeared from the internet. I'm talking like not even a picture, my guy. And for this reason, we're gonna use this adorable little frog to represent him for the rest of the video. So how can a little frog and his book end up making such a gigantic splash? And then ultimately catapult this guy to the forefront of a major legal battle. Enter Joss Whedon. If the name sounds familiar, it's because it should. This man has had a hand in some of the biggest entertainment properties, probably of all time. Like, this dude's resume is just juggernaut after juggernaut. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Avengers, Toy Story, Alien, Star Wars, the list goes on and on. But of course, for the purpose of this video, we're gonna zero in on Cabin in the Woods. Now, Josh and fellow respected screenwriter Drew Goddard, who has his own very respectable resume. These two dudes, they worked together on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They worked so well together that they were like, hey, let's make a little show called Angel. And then from there, they were like, we should write like a fucking, do you feel that? We should make a movie, bro. It took them 3 days to write the full script for Cabin in the Woods. The goal was to take a modern step into the future of what the slasher genre should be, subverting expectations and delivering a clever and bloody level of satire in their film. These guys linked up with Lionsgate, and the film got an awesome budget of $30 million. Then doubled that money on return, making like $67 million. The film would come out in 2011 to critics and fans alike just loving the hell out of this thing. Everyone seemed to really enjoy this super trippy direction for slasher films, especially because so much of the movie is paying homage to like awesome horror movies that we all love. And today, it's kind of a big cult classic within the horror community. However, on April 13th of 2015, Peter would file a lawsuit directly at Joss and Drew and Lionsgate, claiming copyright infringement of his book, The White Trip. Peter outlined that the film had a striking similarity, as his book was also a meta-commentary on the horror genre. In Peter's book, 5 friends arrive to a cabin, only to be killed off one by one, only for the last remaining characters to realize that there are cameras in the cabin and they've been watched the entire time. Even the twist at the end of Cabin in the Woods is the exact same twist in The White Trip. The characters learning that they're being unknowingly filmed for a horror reality TV show. And that's not all that was taken from Gallagher's book. All of the basic setups, all of the character descriptions are the same of the characters in The White Trip. Even the sequence of events in which things happen are exactly the same as in Gallagher's book. Now, Goddard and Joss, now as defendants, they would go to court and they would defend themselves, saying like, well, how these ideas came to them and shit. Goddard explained that he got the idea from growing up in Los Alamos, New Mexico. He said because it's a government lab that designs weapons, and that's the only reason that that town even exists. Kind of a weak defense, if you ask me. That in no way proves that he didn't steal Gallagher's work. Ultimately, Peter Gallagher had this case in the bag. And what would be Homeboy's prize? $10 million to be paid to him immediately for being the brainchild that begat Cabin in the Woods. However, Homeboy lost the case. Only 5 months after Gallagher would file his lawsuit, a judge would come in to review the case only to throw it out, saying exactly this. While the two works share a common premise of students traveling to a remote location and subsequently being murdered, real or otherwise, that premise is unprotectable. The concept of young people venturing off into such locations and being murdered by some evil force is just plain common in horror films. Gallagher was awarded nothing, and ultimately he faded away into obscurity. So how can this happen? How can two people with the exact same idea coexist within the exact same timeline? Could this potentially be a parallel universe intersecting with ours? Could the real reason behind this happening be much larger than we all expect? Probably not. In truth, while handing out copies of his book in Venice, he probably handed it to the wrong person, who saw him as an opportunity to make a quick buck off of. And because he was self-published and he wasn't a big name, Gallagher more likely than not got taken advantage of. Los Angeles is the city of snakes, and unfortunately it really does seem like Peter Gallagher paid the ultimate price. Guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Just a quick reminder that I did drop merch recently. A link to that is down in the description, where you can also find a link to become a Patreon of mine. If you liked the video, please like it and then leave me a comment letting me know exactly what you think about this case. Was it messed up? Is it justified? What do you think? And always hit the notification bell so that way you always know when I drop new stuff. I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace, video creeps.
Yeah, you make me wanna take the clothes off. Yeah, you with all the support. Yeah, you show me, and so it's time to throw it back. Rebecca Reviews and Corey Stewart, Kyoko and Larry Sherman, Carwoman and Butcher's Grindhouse, Lore, X-Core, Michael Andrews and Grimnir, Survivors Guild by Voorhees, Yo Adrienne, Little Lady Heart and Leela, then Giselle, Peter Sweet Vegan, and then Elle, Sydney Fowler, Chris Arnott, Dawn of the Dead, The Darkest Dark, Jam Cedar, Channel of the Living Dead. Thank you all for being my Patreons, that's what I said. You make me hot inside my heart. Oh my God, I support the fact that you support my art. And I will keep on making these songs just for you. If you keep on just showing up, then that's just what I'll do.